Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive.
Mhm.
Today we're going to be tackling something pretty cool.
Yeah.
Visual reasoning in LLMs.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is, right? So we're looking at this paper,
Okay.
LlamaV 01 Rethinking Step-by-Step Visual Reasoning in LLMs.
Catchy.
It is catchy, right?
Yeah.
So basically we're talking about AI that can see the world
Uh-huh.
and actually understand what's going on in images.
Yeah, like beyond just recognizing objects, right? Like really understanding the relationships,
Yeah.
the logic, kind of like piecing together clues.
So like a detective AI.
Exactly. Like Sherlock Holmes, but for pictures.
I love it. Okay, so instead of just saying oh, there's a cat,
Right.
it can be like, that cat is chasing a mouse who's trying to steal cheese.
Yeah, and it understands that it's all happening in a cartoon kitchen.
Whoa. Okay, so how is this different from what AI can already do?
Well, the problem is most current AI tests just focus on the final answer,
Oh, I see.
not how the AI got there.
Like just caring about the solution, not the process.
Exactly. Imagine giving someone a math problem and only caring about the answer.
Right. Not whether they used the right formula or even if they cheated.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
So how did the researchers in this paper try to change things up?
Well, they created a whole new benchmark. It's called VRC Bench.
Okay, VRC bench, got that.
And it's designed to be like a much more comprehensive test of visual reasoning.
Okay, so like a giant exam for AI.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But instead of just looking at the final answer,
Right.
VRC bench actually breaks down the AI's thought process.
Into individual steps so we can see exactly how it's arriving at its conclusions.
So we can see each step of the reasoning.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm picturing a robot with a little whiteboard,
Uh-huh.
and it's showing its work.
Yeah, and a little detective hat on top.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what kinds of questions are on this AI exam? What are we actually testing here?
Oh, it's a huge range of topics, over 1,000 different samples.
Wow, 1,000.
Yeah, it goes way beyond just identifying objects. Like we're talking about understanding complex charts, medical images, even social and cultural cues.
So it could look at a photo and be like, oh, this is a birthday party in Argentina.
Yeah, exactly. Or it could look at a painting and not just identify the objects, but actually understand the style, the historical context, and the symbolism to identify the artwork.
Whoa. Okay, so it could tell the difference between a Monet and a Picasso.
Exactly. And it could even tell you why.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah. And the researchers really wanted to make sure these tests were relevant to the real world, not just abstract puzzles, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So there are challenges like deciphering a chart about global energy reserves.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Or analyzing a medical image to pinpoint a specific tissue type.
Okay, so like an AI doctor.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And even figuring out what sport is being played in a muddy, chaotic scene.
Ooh, that's a good one. Imagine trying to figure out what's going on in a photo of a swamp football game.
Yeah. Right, exactly. That's actually in there.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're really trying to teach these AI models to think more like humans.
Yeah, like not just match patterns, but really reason and understand.
So VRC Bench is less about finding the right answer.
Right.
And more about evaluating the AI's thought process.
Exactly.
Does its reasoning make sense? Is it logically sound? Can it support its conclusions with evidence?
You got it.
It's like they're grading the AI's essay,
Uh-huh.
not just checking the multiple choice answers.
Exactly. And to do that, they developed a special metric.
Okay, a metric.
Yeah, that analyzes each step for accuracy and logical coherence.
So it's looking at how well the AI is explaining its thinking?
Yeah, and they use attributes like faithfulness, is the AI staying true to the info provided?
Okay.
And informativeness, is it picking out the relevant details?
Right, so it's not just throwing out random facts.
Exactly. And there's even a category for hallucination.
Hallucination.
Yeah, to see if the AI is making things up that aren't actually there in the image.
Whoa, okay, so they're making sure the AI isn't seeing things.
Yeah, basically.
That's wild. So are these AI models actually passing this rigorous test?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
The researchers also created a new model called LlamaV 01,
LlamaV 01, all right.
which is specifically designed to tackle visual reasoning.
So it's like the star student?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, tell me more. What's so special about LlamaV 01?
Well, it uses some pretty clever techniques to boost its performance.
Okay, spill the tea. What are these techniques?
One is called curriculum learning.
Curriculum learning.
Yeah, it's kind of like how humans learn best.
Okay.
starting with the basics and gradually increasing the difficulty.
Oh, so it's not just like throwing the AI into the deep end.
Exactly. Instead of overwhelming it with complex problems right away, they train it in stages,
I see.
allowing it to master simpler concepts before moving on to more challenging ones.
So it's like building a solid foundation of knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. And this approach has actually led to some impressive gains in efficiency.
Oh, really?
Yeah, LlamaV 1 is actually faster than previous models while achieving better results.
So it's not just smarter, it's faster too.
You got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more, right? You mentioned another technique.
Right. LlamaV 1 also uses something called beam search.
Beam search. I've never heard of that one.
So imagine a detective investigating a case.
Okay.
They don't just follow one lead blindly.
Right. They explore all the angles.
Exactly. They compare and contrast different theories before settling on the most plausible one.
So beam search is kind of like that for AI.
Exactly. It allows the model to explore various reasoning paths simultaneously.
So it's like having an AI detective with a whiteboard full of clues.
Yeah, with all the red strings connecting them.
I love it. Okay, so this LlamaV 1 sounds pretty impressive.
It is.
But how does it actually stack up against the competition? Like, how does it compare to other AI models out there?
Well, that's a great question. And to answer that, we need to talk about the difference between open source and closed source models. So open source models are kind of like recipes that anyone can access,
Okay.
modify, and use.
Got it.
They're great for collaboration and innovation because anyone can like jump in and tinker with them.
Right. It's like the open source software movement,
Exactly.
but for AI.
Yeah.
And
Closed source models are more like secret recipes
ooh,
guarded by companies or institutions.
so like the Colonel's secret blend of herbs and spices.
Haha. Pretty much you might get to taste the final product, but you don't know exactly how it's made.
I see. So LlamaV 1 is an open source model,
It is.
and it's shaking things up by showing that open source models can be just as powerful as those top secret closed source ones.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's really leveling the playing field, making these advanced AI capabilities accessible to more people.
That's awesome. It's like democratizing AI.
Yeah, I like.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks.
Oh, wait.
How did LlamaV 1 actually perform on these visual reasoning tests?
Well, we put it through the ringer, testing it on 6 different benchmarks, each designed to assess different aspects of visual reasoning.
6 benchmarks.
Yeah.
Okay, so each one is like a different test.
Right. Each one focuses on a specific type of visual challenge.
Got it. So give me an example. What's one of the benchmarks?
Well, one is called MM*, and it looks at the AI's overall ability to understand and reason about images as a whole.
Okay, so big picture thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And here, LlamaV 1 achieved a score of 59.53%.
Okay, 59.53%.
Which is a significant jump from the baseline model score of 49.8%.
So it's definitely an improvement.
Oh, yeah. A big one. It means the model is getting significantly better at grasping the big picture.
Not just focusing on individual objects.
Right, like it's seeing the forest for the trees.
I like that analogy. Okay, what about those real-world applications we talked about earlier?
Right.
Like medical imaging or deciphering charts and diagrams. How does LlamaV 1 handle those?
So there's a benchmark specifically for medical imaging called MMVET.
MMVET. Okay.
And this one tests the AI's ability to make sense of complex medical scans, like X-rays and MRIs.
So potentially this could help doctors diagnose conditions earlier and more accurately.
Exactly. The idea is that AI could assist doctors by spotting subtle patterns in medical images that might be easily missed by the human eye.
Right, because AI doesn't get tired.
Exactly.
And it can process tons of information really quickly.
Yeah, and it can compare a new scan to thousands of others in its database.
That's incredible. So it's like having an AI consultant working alongside the doctor.
Exactly. Of course, this is still early stage research,
Sure.
but the potential is definitely there.
That's very exciting.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got overall image understanding with MM* and medical imaging with MMVET. What other benchmarks were used to evaluate LlamaV 1?
Well, there's one called MMBench, which is kind of like a decathlon for LLMs.
A decathlon.
Yeah, it tests them on a whole bunch of different tasks to see how well-rounded they are.
Okay, so MMBench is all about testing the AI's versatility.
Yeah, like seeing if it's a jack of all trades when it comes to visual reasoning.
I like that. And how did LlamaV 1 do?
It did amazingly well. It scored a remarkable 79.89%.
79.89%.
Wow, again, a huge leap from the baseline score.
So it's not just good at one specific type of visual task. It can handle a variety of challenges.
Exactly, and with a high level of accuracy.
Okay, color me impressed. I'm starting to see why this research is making waves, but were there any areas where LlamaV 1 stumbled a bit?
There was one benchmark that proved to be a bit more challenging.
Which one?
MathVista.
MathVista.
Yeah, this one focuses on solving math problems presented in visual contexts like charts and diagrams.
So it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about understanding how those numbers relate to the visual information.
Precisely. And while LlamaV 1 did a decent job on MathVista,
Yeah.
scoring 54.40%, it wasn't quite as strong as on some of the other benchmarks.
So maybe we won't be handing over our calculus homework to AI just yet.
Not quite yet.
But it sounds like it's getting there. Are there any other benchmarks we should know about?
Yes, there's AI 2D, which specifically focuses on diagram interpretation.
Diagrams.
Yeah, diagrams are often used to explain complex concepts in fields like science and engineering.
Right, like those flowcharts that make my head spin.
Exactly. So being able to understand them is crucial for AI if it's going to be able to work in those fields.
That makes sense. And how did LlamaV 1 do on this one?
It really shines on this one, achieving a score of 81.24%.
81.24%.
Wow.
It sounds like it has a real knack for decoding those visual representations of information.
It does.
Okay, one last benchmark, right?
Yes.
You mentioned something about hallucinations earlier.
Right, that's hallucination bench.
Hallucination bench.
This one tests the AI's ability to distinguish between what's real and what's imagined or implied in an image.
Okay, so it's kind of like a test of the AI's common sense.
Yeah, and its ability to stay grounded in the actual visual evidence.
Right, so it's not just making things up.
Exactly.
And how did LlamaV 1 do?
It scored 63.51%, which indicates it's not easily fooled by visual tricks or misleading information.
That's good. I wouldn't want an AI prone to flights of fancy, making important decisions based on its vision.
Haha, right?
Okay, so looking at the big picture, LlamaV 1 is performing exceptionally well across a variety of visual reasoning challenges.
It is.
It's surpassing expectations, even competing with those big-name, closed-source models.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this research so significant. It's not just about showing what one particular model can do.
Right, it's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI as a whole.
Exactly. It's about creating more intelligent, reliable, and ultimately more human-like systems.
So this is more than just cool tech. This has the potential to really impact our lives.
It does. The applications for this technology are vast.
Give me some examples, like how could this actually change things?
Well, imagine AI assisting doctors with diagnosis.
Okay.
Robots navigating complex environments.
Ooh, self-driving cars, but even more advanced.
Exactly. And even art historians analyzing masterpieces with a whole new level of insight.
Wow, those are some pretty amazing possibilities. But let's break it down a bit. They've touched on healthcare, but how could AI visual reasoning actually change things in a field like robotics?
Well, for robots to truly interact with the world in a meaningful way, they need to be able to see, understand, and reason about their surroundings.
Okay.
And that's where visual reasoning comes in.
I see.
Imagine robots that can assist with search and rescue missions,
Okay.
navigating through disaster zones and identifying survivors.
That would be incredible.
It would, right?
Yeah.
Or robots that can work alongside humans in factories,
Okay.
understanding complex tasks and performing them with precision and safety.
Okay. I can see how that would be a game changer instead of just following pre-programmed instructions.
Right.
These robots could adapt to changing environments, making decisions based on what they see.
Exactly.
It's like taking those sci-fi visions of robots and making them a reality.
It is. It's really exciting.
It is. But how about something a little less action-packed like art history?
Okay.
How could AI shake things up in a field like that?
Well, art historians often rely on visual analysis to interpret artworks.
Right.
But AI could take that analysis to a whole new level.
So it's like having an AI art detective
Yeah,
who can unlock the secrets hidden within those brushstrokes and color palettes.
exactly. And on the creative side, AI could even assist artists and designers, helping them explore new ideas, experiment with different styles, and even generate entirely new forms of art.
It's like having an AI muse whispering creative inspiration in your ear.
Uh-huh. I like that.
But with all this talk of AI becoming more human-like,
Yeah.
are we headed toward some kind of robot takeover?
Uh-huh. That's a question that comes up a lot.
Right.
And it's important to remember that AI, even with advanced visual reasoning, is still a tool.
Okay, a tool.
It's a tool that can be used for good or for ill, depending on the intentions of those who develop and use it.
So it's not about the AI itself, but about how we choose to use it.
Exactly.
We need to make sure these powerful tools are in the right hands and used responsibly.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations to explore the ethical implications of AI development
Right.
and to ensure that these powerful technologies are used for the benefit of humanity.
That's a point worth emphasizing. It's not just about celebrating the cool factor of AI,
Right.
but about thinking critically about how it impacts our lives and society as a whole.
I agree. And the researchers highlight a really interesting point in their paper.
Okay, what's that?
They talk about how this technology could actually change the way we interact with information, images, and even art in the future.
Oh, interesting.
It's not just about making things easier or more efficient.
Right. It's about expanding our perception and giving us new ways to see and interpret the visual world.
You got it.
So it's like AI is giving us a new set of glasses to see the world with revealing hidden patterns and meanings that we might have otherwise missed.
That's a great analogy. Imagine a world where AI can help us understand the complexities of nature,
Okay.
decipher the secrets of history, even appreciate art on a deeper level.
It's like AI is unlocking new levels of understanding.
Exactly. It's about using the power of AI to enhance our own understanding and to open up new possibilities for human creativity and discovery.
That's a pretty inspiring thought. But before we get too carried away with all the amazing possibilities, let's bring it back to our listeners. How might visual reasoning AI actually change the way you interact with information, images, and even art in the future?
That's the question we all need to be asking ourselves.
It is a big one.
It is, and the research on LlamaV 01 provides a glimpse into what that future might hold.
It definitely gives us a lot to think about. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious to hear more about your vision for the future. What are some of the most exciting potential applications of visual reasoning AI that you're personally looking forward to?
Oh, there are so many. But I think one area where this tech could really make a difference is education.
Oh, yeah. Education. That's a good one.
It's ripe for disruption, right? Imagine instead of just passively absorbing facts,
Yeah.
students could actually engage with AI tutors that adapt to their individual learning styles.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and guide them through complex concepts using visuals and interactive simulations.
So it's like having a personal AI guide who can tailor the learning experience.
Exactly. It's about making learning more engaging,
Yeah.
personalized, and fun.
That's awesome. I wish I had that when I was in school.
Me too.
Okay, so education is one.
Yeah.
What about the art world? You mentioned AI could help artists and designers.
Yeah, I think AI could become this incredible tool for creative exploration.
Yeah.
Imagine an artist collaborating with an AI that understands their aesthetic preferences and can help them visualize their ideas in novel ways, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in art and design.
So instead of replacing artists, AI becomes this creative partner.
Exactly. It's about augmenting human creativity, not replacing it.
I like that. And it's not just limited to the arts, right?
Yeah. No, not at all. We could use AI to tackle some of the world's biggest challenges.
Like what?
Well, think about environmental science. AI could analyze satellite images to track deforestation,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
pollution, the effects of climate change, giving us crucial data to make better decisions.
So we could have AI constantly monitoring the health of our planet.
Exactly, providing insights that might be impossible for humans to gather on such a large scale.
That's amazing. Yeah. And this data-driven approach powered by visual reasoning could be applied to countless other fields, right?
Absolutely, from optimizing traffic flow in cities to coordinating disaster relief efforts more effectively, the possibilities are endless.
It's like having this AI-powered lens that helps us see the world with more clarity.
Yeah, revealing patterns and connections that might otherwise remain hidden.
And that's what excites me most about this research. It's not just about building smarter machines.
It is about using AI to augment our own understanding, creativity, and problem-solving abilities.
It's almost like AI is giving us a superpower, allowing us to see the world in a whole new light.
I like it.
Me too. This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
And I feel like I've learned so much about the potential of AI and visual reasoning.
It's a rapidly evolving field, and I'm eager to see what breakthroughs lie ahead.
Me too. And for all of you listening, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
How do you envision visual reasoning AI shaping the future? Leave us a comment on our website, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those imaginations firing.